Hi, Dr. G here. I want to talk about how you can get the minerals that tend to be missing from modern agriculture. Our industrial farming with monoagriculture tends to deplete the soils of minerals, so our food is depleted in minerals, both the animal source foods and the plant source foods. One way to bypass this is to get food from the sea. You can do this by eating sea vegetables like seaweed and kelp, which I do on a regular basis. I actually recommend kelp supplements for my patients. But another way is fish. Fish is highly nutritious. It contains all the minerals we need, plus most of the vitamins, as well as being a very good source of protein, which is also very important for human health. But there is one downside to fish, and that is potential toxins. Now we know PCBs can be in fish. These have been banned and hopefully will go down in the future. But the other big problem in fish is mercury. Mercury is in the food supply, in the food chain. It starts in the plankton. Mercury falls out from the atmosphere from mining and other pollution, and it's taken up by these small microorganisms. Then these are eaten by the fish, and then the small fish eat the plankton, a larger fish eats that fish, then a larger fish eats that fish. So because of this, the really big creatures become the highest concentration, or their tissues have the highest concentration of mercury. That's why animals like whales and porpoises have very high mercury concentrations in their tissues. And this is why the worst fish to eat tend to be the large predator fish like swordfish and shark and the big tuna. So for that reason, we're directed to eating smaller fish. But the problem is there's mercury in all fish. So you want to get fish that are closer to that first step in the chain. Now, I'm a fisherman, so when I go fishing, I go out to enjoy the ocean or the river or the lake, and I also enjoy eating fish, and it's highly nutritious, but unfortunately toxic. Now, the typical fisherman, what do they want to do? The typical fisherman wants to catch a whopper. He wants to get the biggest dang fish he can find. So he's out there, using whatever techniques and catching a large fish. And then a large fish is great because you can feed the whole family with one fish. You cut it up into steaks, bam, you have food for the entire family. But the problem with that is you're poisoning your family and yourself. Have you ever noticed how fishermen act really stupid most of the time? Like, they do things, they wear they go out fishing on a bass boat and they wear like a motorcycle uniform. I think the big fish definitely damages the brain, and that's some pretty good evidence for that. So what do we need to do? We need to be counterintuitive. When we go fishing, don't go for the big one, go for the little bitty one. Now, one way to do this is to get sardines. Sardines are little bitty, and they're very low in mercury because they're right there eating the plankton, and the mercury hasn't had a chance to concentrate up the food chain. Because one medium-sized fish might eat 1,000 sardines in its lifetime. So it's concentrated the mercury from 1,000 sardines, but you can go straight to the sardine, and then you'll avoid that multiplying effect going up the food chain. All right, so here's my recommendation for fishing. I went to the Sea of Cortez the other day, actually yesterday. Went to the Sea of Cortez, went fishing, and I followed my motto: catch the small fish, release the large fish. So I went fishing, found this hot spot, was catching a lot of sea bass, and here we go. I have one already out. Look at that whopper. Now that's pretty small. Even though this is the sea bass is a predatory fish, one this small is not going to have high concentrations of mercury. So I went out fishing, and this is the typical size of the fish that I would keep. And because they were plentiful, I could catch a lot of them. And what I'm going to do is fillet them. Now, when you catch a lot of small fish, you want to have a fast method to get the meat off. And so I fillet a fish thus so, and there you have it. Nice fillet. Then I do the other side. I throw the carcass in the bowl, save it for the compost, and here I use the rest of the fish, the part that I don't eat, to nourish myself by putting that in the garden, so that my garden, or the soil in my garden, will be full of minerals. And so I'm going to build the minerals in my body for good health. I'm going to avoid the toxins. Now this is very important. So eat sardines, eat the small fish. You don't have to worry so much about eating fish. And if you're a fisherman, catch the small ones, let the big ones go. No, don't give the big one to your neighbor. You don't want to kill your neighbor. You want to love your neighbor as yourself. This is Dr. Chi. Thanks for watching.